Hey, this is Mr. C, and thanks for tuning into this fantabulous video. This is 3/6 dividing a whole number by a decimal. One of my faves. Once you're done writing name and date and your title underlined, please unpause the video in 3, 2, 1. Once you're done checking your homework, please unpause the video in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so our first example in our category of dividing a whole number by a decimal is right here. How can you divide a whole number by a decimal? Well, a band was deciding on how many songs could fit on a CD. I don't even know if you guys even use CDs anymore, but these used to be a big thing. They were so cool. We bought them in big packs. We had holders in our cars. Whatever. All right, let's go on. They bought blank CDs for recording their songs. If the average song is 3.2 minutes long, how many songs can fit on each CD? So we are taking 80. Where do we get that from? Trying to look, where did they get 80 from? Oh, I see right here. There's 80 minutes on a CD. 80 minutes on a CD. We're going to divide that by 3.2. That's each song. So we're going to take 80. We're going to split it into groups of 3.2 minutes and see how many songs could you put on that CD. So first I kind of want to see about what's going to be my answer. I'm used to estimating. We went through those lessons, and so let's practice. 3.2, that's about 3. And what number do I know that's close to 80 could I divide by 3 really easily? Well, let's see our answer. See that I could change 80 to 90, and so I know that 90 divided by 3, that's 30. I can do that in my head. So I know my answer is going to be around 30. It's not going to be exactly 30 because I changed my numbers. But let's go back to the original answer now, knowing that it's supposed to be close to 30. All right, so we're going to think of a power of 10 that will make the divisor a whole number. Which is the divisor? Well, the divisor is on the outside, what we're dividing. And I know that I can multiply 3.2 times 10. That's going to move the decimal one space to the right when I multiply by 10, and it's going to become 32. If I had 10 3.2s all added together and so on, 10 of them, I added them together, I would get 32. And so the easy way to do that is just to move it over once. So we get 32. So now our new problem is, see how you move it over? Our new problem is 32 with 800 in the middle. So this is 800 divided by 32. Well, how did 80 become 800? Well, if you move the decimal on one side of the problem, you must move it on the other, or you're changing the whole problem and the answer is going to become wrong, and that's a big deal. For example, if I moved the decimal on the 3.2 over once, but I didn't move the decimal for 80, then I'm going to come up with an answer of 2.5. Well, wait a second. I mean, what's the point of estimating? I know that my answer is supposed to be close to 30. Well, that's because there's a big mistake that we made here, because we only moved the decimal on one side of the problem. We got to move it on the other. So now we see that when we do divide 800 by 32, secret word is slow tortoise, then we're going to get the answer of 25 right there. The band can fit 25 songs on a CD. And yes, 25, I feel good with that answer because it's close to our estimate. Moving on. We do not have vocab notes. Hoorah! That sounds fantastic, Mr. C. Here's example 1. We have 2 problems separated by a squiggly line. You can put that in your notes like that if you desire. And so let's write these first. Now I have my problems written, but I see a decimal, and I'm wondering, what do we do with that decimal in the last problem? Well, we multiplied it by a power of 10, so I'm thinking I got 60 tenths. What power of 10 do I need to multiply that by to make it a whole number? I need to move it over once, so I'm going to multiply by 10, by 1 power of 10. I also need to move this over once, so I'm going to multiply that by 1 power of 10. And anytime I do anything to this side, I need to do it to this side, so I'm also going to multiply this by 10 and this by 10. And so now I'm going to get a new problem. And so now I have my new problems Notice how I moved the decimal over one spot there, and I also moved it one spot here. The decimal place goes after a whole number. 426 times 10 is 4,260. I did the same over here, except I need to add that. 720 becomes 7,200. So now we need to do our problems, and now we're into a regular division. That was the only thing that we do when we divide by a decimal. We just move the decimal out, and we move it on the other side exactly the same amount of times. And now we're at this regular division problem that we all know how to do and we've had lessons on. So now we can do this. We have 4 sheep. How many groups of 6 would I have? I would not have any. And if I had 42 sheep, how many groups of 6 would I have? Well, I know 6 times 7. We're going to divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Now we need to multiply. 6 times 7, 42. Now we're going to subtract. 0. Now we bring down. Now we're back to up divide. That goes in once. What do I do with that? What do I do with that? Well, if you have nothing, you can't have any groups of 6, so that's just 7, 10. And that's my answer. And try to do the second example by yourself, and I'm going to show you the answer in 3, 2, 1. And there's the answer for the next example. And I'm ready to move on. Unpause the video when you're ready in 3, 2, 1. Here's example 2. Please try to do these by yourself, remembering that you need to move these decimal places before you divide. I'm going to show you the answers in 3, 2, 1. First, let's talk about moving the decimal. You should have moved the decimal here twice, indicated by the arrows. Because I moved it out here twice, I also moved the decimal here twice. What did I multiply that by to move it twice? Well, I multiplied that by times 100. I see 2 zeros, therefore I moved the decimal twice. I also multiplied this by 100. 2 zeros, moving it twice. Over here, what did I multiply this by? I multiplied that by 1,000, also multiplied this by 1,000. And the whole goal is just to make this into a whole number, which I did. Now let's get to the answers. And there are your answers. If you need more time, please pause the video. We're moving on in 3, 2, 1. Please go to Independent or Partners Practice, page 76, numbers 15 through 26. Please pick whether you'd like to do the odds or whether you like evens better. The answers are coming in 3, 2, 1. Here are your answers. I gave you them all because you picked whether you did evens or odds, which you should have 6 problems done. Now, at this time, please go to the gas station on Socrative, which is the end of the lesson Socrative, not just a beginning, but an end of lesson, and choose whether you'd like to do the group math game first or Khan Academy. And the group game answers are going to appear in 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much for watching this video, and please don't forget that you are awesome. And I love having you in my class.